Oh, okay. So moving on from that, my name is Kill, or that guy Kill, however you guys want to call it. Yes, I'm the guy that uses an AI thumbnail. Who cares? Let's get over it and talk about today's topic. Today's topic is matchmaking. We're on a Reddit page that caught my attention and it caught a lot of other people's attention, and there's a lot of comments on it, and we want to see what everyone's opinion about it is. So, if you guys don't know, when the game first came out, there was no rank system. However, there was a system in the game that used an algorithm that they were familiar with and they used in other games, and they tried to basically make it work. It didn't really work very well, although I will say that was actually a much better system than what we have now. In any case, several months later, they try to fix it by adjusting people's ranks and adjusting people's algorithm ranks, and it kind of messed up the algorithm even further. So, like, basically, what they did was they built a road, and they turned the road was getting too big, so they tried to narrow it down from 4 lanes to 2 lanes, and that caused a lot of traffic. So to alleviate that traffic, what they tried to do is build more roads, so that way people can split off on the main road and get where they need to go. However, they did not anticipate the basically the cars were all going to the same place, and they weren't anticipating that, I guess. So that's what's happening right now in matchmaking. That's a very terrible analogy, but yeah. So here we go. Alex 37 started this discussion about 13 hours ago, and as you can tell, it is 4:16 at 11 o'clock at night. So basically 4:16 is when they started it. I've been losing a lot lately. I am not blaming my team. I was. It's some it's some of their first games on Deadlock, and I get that. They would do badly, especially since this game is not really kind to new players. But in so many recent games, I have had feeders. Sure, the enemy also has them sometimes, but a lot of the time they don't. Excuse me. I wish the matchmaking would put me in games where others are on a similar level to me. I'm not saying I'm the best player out there or anything, but it'd be nice if I get to have teammates with more experience. This middle paragraph we're going to discuss a little bit, and it's going to be relevant in a little bit. It kind of kills the joy and when the matches are so one-sided and you're unable to surrender, and you get penalized if you leave. Most low mid-rank games from what I've seen are decided in the first 15 minutes. After that, it's just the losing team stalling the inevitable. There have been comebacks, sure, but it's rare. One thing that keeps me hopeful is that when the game is released or close to releasing, they will fix it. Before we get into the comments and people were talking, looking at this video like, oh my god, don't suck. Oh Jesus. I'll just let you know the #1 streamer, even as Zergy himself, has stated this matchmaking is absolute booty. So much so that if you recall, several months earlier, he was asked, "Are you ever going to be playing night shift, which is the pro scene?" And he says no. His answer was no. I enjoy streaming this game far too much. Maybe in the future, when the game is close to releasing. Now, people can take that every way you want, right? He was enjoying the game. He didn't want to do pro. If you do pro, you're doing scrims. You're not really playing the game. You're doing more scrims than you're playing the game. At least you want to be that like that so you can be dedicated to the game, right? Why did Zergy all of a sudden, after saying matchmaking is terrible and getting upset about it, why now after that he's doing night shift? Because he wants more reliable games, consistent games. He doesn't care how he gets it. He wants it. He's a competitive player. Okay, so that's just one example, though. I can give you 13 other streamers and other pro players that have quit the game just so they can play pro, or just quit the game and taken a break. Some people have come back, like Michaels has come back. Some people have come back, but like Michaels. But I think it's for a reason. I think he's coming back because he's not burnt out. There's different reasons why people would come back now. But it doesn't mean the matchmaking is good. I think the matchmaking is pretty bad. I have had examples where my Oracle friends, including myself, have gotten into Oracle lobbies and we've gotten Seekers on our team. That is a huge, dramatic shift. Hold on, my cat. See, she's even trying, man. She's even upset about it. But basically, just it's not in a good spot. I mean, not only that, but I mean, my count right now that I stream with is Ritualist, and even on Ritualist, I'm getting Seekers still. I'm getting Seekers, Alchemist, Arcanist, while the other team had 2 Oracles. I don't know why there was 2 Oracles in my lobby when that was a Ritualist on that account. I don't understand. I don't get it. So, yeah, sure. The matchmaking, people could say all kinds of things. In my experience, the matchmaking is pretty terrible right now. And I don't know officially why, but let's read the comments. Coffeeholic. He's a pocket main. Matchmaking is bad, yes, but even when they fix, quote unquote, the matchmaking, just because of how MOBAs work, you're always going to have games that are unwinnable because one of your teammates goes 0-12 or something. I don't think that matters. I think he's taken away something that the guy said and into a different context. Yes, he's had bad teammates, and yes, he's feeding. But just because you're feeding, there's always a learning opportunity, right? Like if you do the same thing over and over again, what do we call that, right? If the guy keeps running into the wall, then that's what the guy's talking about. The guy's not learning from his mistakes, and that's what he's talking about by more experienced players. He wants players that have already made those mistakes and have learned from them. The 40% rule definitely applies. 40% auto losses, 40% auto wins, 20% contested deciding. So what he means by that is that, yeah, what he means by that is basically it's that it's a 50-50, you're gonna get a win or lose, right? It's automatic. It's gonna be a steamroll match. Either you're gonna lose that match or you're gonna win that match. And there's 20% in there that are comeback, or the rare ones, as the guy said, Alex said up top. I think this might be right, but if this was right, this algorithm would be fair. So I want to respectfully say this guy's wrong. So the important part is that 20% you should be not tilted, play very well, and that's the decider on how you should climb. To be honest, that 20% is probably even lower because Deadlock is a 6v6, 5v5. I don't know why that would matter. I don't know why that would matter. But I don't think this is right. I don't think this is right. I think 60% of my games, I've gotten lower ranked people, and even my own rank on my main account is just it's terrible. The higher you go, it gets worse. It gets way worse. People always complain about bad matchmaking because of the way we perceive things. But the reason I believe matchmaking is so terrible in Deadlock is that the algorithm doesn't handle influxes of new players well. The one in January crippled an already struggling system. This doesn't matter. It should be easier if there was more new players in the game. Maybe he's going to tell us why it's harder. With the way Deadlock's matchmaking is designed and calibrated, new players end up playing a lot of matches against each other and rank up. That's not true. they might move up to something like Archon when they'd normally be an alchemist or ritualist, simply because they're winning matches against other new players and not people of established ranks. That's not true. That is not true. That is not true. We've seen this happen on my stream. If you haven't checked, go to the stream, check Big Cat stream, check anyone's stream. This is not true. You end up with a pool of players that the matchmaker has calibrated based on games against new players compared with an experienced pool of existing players. This is why you're seeing players with 2,000 plus games and matches with players who have 100 less games. This is not true. This isn't the case. I think also the people aren't really taking into consideration that people are grouping. Like we had a game today where an Infernus was grouped up with 4 other people or 3 other people, and he was literally carrying them. He was an Eternus player playing on a Smurf account. I'm not saying Smurfing is an issue, but when you use it like that, it becomes an issue. He was carrying 3 teammates that were beyond negative and beyond. They weren't even good. They were terrible, and that's just how it is, right? I don't think this is true. I think the game is, if this was true, then the new players would not be in Archon, even if they're winning, because that's not how the algorithm gives you points. It doesn't really work that way. What it does is when they pick a hero, I'm a new player. I'm picking Dynamo. I win with Dynamo. Second game, I get Calvin. I lose with Calvin. Third game, I got Dynamo. I won. Fourth game, I got Ivy. I won. Fifth game, I got Calvin. I won. Sixth game, I got Ivy. I lost. Dynamo, I won. Dynamo, I won. Dynamo, I lost. Calvin, I won. And now, because of those 10 games, it's going to calibrate that Dynamo is my main character. And as long as Dynamo is my main character, I gain more points by playing that character. So the algorithm is going to go, okay, well, he's winning too much. We're going to give him Calvin now. We're going to give him Ivy now. We're going to give him Rim now. Characters he normally doesn't play. And we're going to pit him against players that actually know what they're doing with their characters. That's a whole other issue as well. On top of people playing the game differently, right? It takes so long for it to settle back to normal. By the time it does, another major balance patch or content patch drops, and returning players who haven't decayed much and new players who get boosted too much make the higher ranks so hard to play. Can't get mad at someone for doing bad when it's literally not their fault. They're in the sweaty Ascendant 6 rank. It's true. That's very true. Blockbuster it's literally a don't hate the player, hate the game situation when it comes to Deadlock matchmaking. You can't get mad at people who are tossed into matches when they're way in over their head. If they want to solve this, they'll need to figure out how to account for large pools of we already talked about this, bro. It's not that. It's this, but there is a massive problem with the party queue as well. One player dragging his terrible friends into lobbies. One player dragging his terrible friends into lobbies way beyond their skill level, just griefing the rest of the game. Sure, I guess you could say that. But it flips the coin on the other way around, right? I low-key don't even think 40% auto wins exist, no matter how good you are at at macro and good at gank and gank at good times. There have been times where people lost mid and game because they don't parry rejuve or when they blah 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 blah. It won't. It won't. The experience for new players is horrible. Lots of cheaters, smurfs. They won't go away. Just go away. And the 40s, 20 stats is bots, comments, all repeating the same shit as their favorite streamer. Yes, but also Smurfs sometimes is both, or even indistinguishable for another. I've had Seeker games in the past where one Yamato or Apollo was carrying against basically the whole team. Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. I think people are just split. Top 1% commentator. Yes, we need more complex matchmaker which calculate rank based on personal performance, not win plus lose system work. Yes. See, look, motor design, thank you. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. This is actually a very good comment. They need to make it where it's performance based. StatLocker isn't perfect, but StatLocker will at least tell you if you deserved to gain up points for that or not points for that. And I think it's a very crucial thing to get, to understand at least. If you significantly better versus your team, you deserve rank up even with the loss. It's climb skilled. I don't think this is okay, you lost me at this. If you lost, you should not be able to rank up. Now, if you lost and you performed like A plus to S plus or whatever, you should lose less, if not minimal to zero. They can even do it to where if you lost on a team where you did really well 3 times in a row, you don't lose points. And on the fourth one, you do lose points. They can even do something like that. And that would help out a lot. That's an inherently flawed system though, because personal performance is not quantifiable. You can be 2 and 10 and still have the biggest impact on the game. That's not what, dude. If you have enough metrics, you can calculate overall performance. Soul farm speed. Yeah, exactly. See, thank you. Motor is onto it. Good job. Good job. Then you're fucked if you play support. No. What? Supports will be rewarded for team support and healing. All can be calculated with enough metrics. Sounds too complex. It would cause more problems than solve, in my opinion. Because it's often just false. Complex problems often have simple solutions. Are we just arguing to argue? Itchy milk, you are just a fucking you are literally dick riding this guy for no reason. He's trying to give you a solution and you're just going, nah, that doesn't work. It's too complicated. And here goes Motors like, bro, 2 plus 2 is 4 and the game thinks it's 5. All we gotta do is make sure it's fucking 4, dude. And this guy's like, no, it's not that simple. We can't just add math into it, bro. What? But yes, I think personal performance, no matter who you're playing, especially when the game already identifies the characters as what they are. Like if you listen to the voice lines in the game, they describe the character. Even in the freaking bio, it tells you a bit more about the character. The game knows Abram's a tank. So if he does tank things, he should be rewarded for that. The game already knows that. This is the one thing that makes me mad, is that people think it's too complex. If you forgot that Overwatch did it and it worked very well. However, people were able to stat pad on top of this, shit and farm it like the hacker chick Sombra was able to hack things and get points for it, right? Well, you're gonna have to nerf it for certain characters, in my opinion. Valve will never do this because they already tried with Dota and it just led to people abusing the system too. Yes, because we already talked about this, but Dota's differently and they can definitely nerf it if they figured out how to do it. And carries will still get rewarded more because they still have the same metrics, but more of them. Don't attack the messenger. I mean, all carries will get rewarded more because they have the same metrics. That's not true. What are the weakest part of a carry is the beginning. So if you just keep feeding in the beginning and don't play safe and don't play accordingly and don't get the necessary souls, you're not going to get this. But you win the game and then you overall got like a B because of that. That's how it's going to reward you, because carries don't get officially turned on until later on in the game. So it will calculate how well you did throughout the match. I don't want to stretch this video out too long. I just wanted to read some comments about like the matchmaking and what people thought. Possible to build a ranking system based on performance instead of win or lose. Like this is first, there's too much difference between characters. If you're playing someone like Paige, statistically you're almost always fall behind a carry, even if in reality you're more impactful and performing better. He didn't say characters, he said performance on you. If you are a Paige and you go damage Paige, doesn't matter. As long as you gain value from that page, then you will get a good rating. It is not a complex, it's not that complex. Many games do it. MMOs do it. The battle royales do it. Like a lot of people do it. Now, they don't put it in their rank games, they just implement it as a matchmaking system. And that's what we're talking about. A matchmaking system, right? Then they can figure out the metrics for the ranking systems to be a little bit more tighter. So that way it's a little bit more fair. But I'm not a person that can do code, nor do I even know what 2 plus 2 is, right? So I think this game is in a situation where the the community wants a fair, balanced game, which is crazy to me. When's the last time a community like this has ever gotten together and be like, bro, we need to fix this shit? Like, I think this is getting so big and such a big, interesting, complex topic that I never thought that so many people were one or like talking about this. You go to their Discord and they're still talking about that in the general chat. Jesus. All right. I'm enough of that. I just want y'all's opinion. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you guys think? Is matchmaking good? Is matchmaking bad? Could it be work? Do you have a solution? Does anyone have a solution out there about it? And when do you think they'll actually address this? Because I'm quite curious at this point. If you guys didn't know, my name is That Guy Kill. I post videos at least every day. I try. I'm also trying to form a team, not me in it, but I'm trying to basically, I guess, be the coach. I don't know necessarily, but I have two Phantom players at the moment. If you are a Phantom, or if you're an Oracle or higher, I would like to see if you want to do some scrims with us and see how well you fit in with the team. But we're looking for tanks and support players at the moment, and as well as one other carry. But I digress. I hope you guys have a great night, great day, beautiful freaking morning. I really hope we can address this situation because it's getting even worse, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's getting worse. But I digress. I'll catch you guys later. See you. Bye bye.